This episode of the Busted Wide Open podcast is brought to you by Blueberry. Blueberry offers the best media hosting, accurate listening stats, and their all-new PowerPress Deluxe sites, a no-setup WordPress website for your podcast with all the necessary links to share your show with the world built right in. If you currently produce a podcast and are looking for a better media host or looking to start a new one from scratch, head over to orbitaljigsaw.com/BWO and sign up for the best media hosting and a PowerPress Deluxe site to get your first month absolutely free. That's orbitaljigsaw.com/BWO, or just use the promo code BWO at checkout for your first month free. And with that said, enjoy the show.
This is Jackson Riker with WWE, a member of the Forgotten Sons, and you are listening to the Busted Wide Open podcast.
You're listening to the Busted Wide Open podcast, dropping the elbow on the hottest topics in sports entertainment and the world of professional wrestling. With your hosts, Nick Howell and Sir Ian Dangerous. Coming to you from the Orbital Jigsaw Network Arena in sunny Southern California. Welcome back to the Busted Wide Open podcast, our Patron Mailbag series, episode number 27. My name is Nick Howell.
And I am Sir Ian Dangerous, and thank you for joining us today, and thank you to all of our patrons who submitted questions to us. And if you are not a patron and you didn't submit a question, well then why don't you head on over to patreon.com/BWO and sign up for one of our lovely tiers so that you too can ask a question and have it read out and answered on this here very show.
Yes.
It's actually one of the ways we keep this show going is our lovely patrons and our Patreon. And thank you to everyone who's already signed up and already supporting this show. Thank you so very much. You are the grease in our wheels. You are the wind beneath our wings. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We cannot say it enough. And this show is for you guys. And we love doing it because it's always a lot of fun questions. And we always enjoy it very much, Nick.
You can't drop a Bette Midler Beaches reference or I'm going to start crying again like I did last episode. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Come on.
Did you ever know that you're my hero? Everything I would like to be. Come on, Nick. Sing along.
Yeah, no. Thank you guys from me as well. Thank you to all of our patrons for all of your support. And you can head over to BWOpodcast.com or the links in the description below right here on YouTube to get into our Discord, our Facebook group. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at BWO Podcast. All kinds of good stuff there. But most of you guys already know all those kinds of things. We got a lot of questions to get through today, guys, after our very long previous episode. So we got to move here today. We're going to kick things off with a former BWO Patron Pick'ems champion himself, Mr. Brian Average. B. Rye asked, who would you say have been the top 5 wrestlers in WWE during empty arena performance center shows? Basically, the 5 who have been the MVPs for WWE and why. I'm going to go Asuka.
Asuka, you cannot say without Asuka. I'm going to throw Triple H in on this.
Okay.
Just for that one SmackDown performance, although it's be hard to call them MVP because it was kind of a one-off.
I'm going to use it. I'm going to use it as one. KO Seth have kind of carried the weight there.
They did some really good stuff, even without a crowd. Like Seth knocked a promo out of the arena.
I'm saving the best one for last, by the way.
I'm gonna throw Montez Ford in there.
Okay.
For just keeping his energy up through the roof. That dude, his energy, obviously naturally very energetic, but he's definitely kept some energy up there. I'm gonna throw Miz and Morrison in there.
Oh, no. That's 4 already. We've got 1 left.
Oh, okay. What did you have? Give it to me.
Freaking Wyatt.
All
the Firefly Funhouse episodes. Well,
but he's not. Yeah, I take that with a big caveat though, because some of the best stuff that he did wasn't actually in the arenas. I'm thinking about people who are in the arenas being the MVPs for those shows.
So he did say during empty arena performance center shows.
Yeah, I'm saying like in these shows without anybody there, who's been knocking it out of the park consistently. I got to say Asuka's number 1.
Yeah, easily.
I got to say Asuka's number 1. She's got to be the top of this because she has been absolutely magnetic, entertaining. She's been helping fill the silences. She's been all over the place too. So I've got to give her like the blue ribbon on this one. And I'm trying to think of who else we could throw in on this, but she's got to be up there at the top.
I'll give a hat tip, a little honorable mention to Michael Cole as well. His ability to
the
sit
words out
there
of my mouth.
by himself and call matches for 2 straight hours.
Yeah.
Entire
Whether
shows.
or not you like his commentary style, he's very dry, robotic. He tends to.
He's very good at what he does.
He does. He is. Unfortunately, what he does tend to kill any kind of organicness to the product, but it's really hard to do what he does.
Yeah, it is.
So I will give him credit where credit's due.
Thank you, Brian. Great question there. And a little appreciation. I like that kind of question.
Absolutely.
Next up,
definitely.
speaking of which, the innovator of our Moment of Positivity segment every show,
the Mop Man.
The Mop Man, Mr. Sean Clark. Who would you guys like to see The Fiend go after to continue righting the wrongs of Bray Wyatt? And would you want to see more of the Firefly Funhouse match going forward to dissect some of those characters? Or I guess do you trust them to do it well again? Thanks for being awesome, guys. My bonus episode was the bonus episode was my Moment of Positivity this week, so thanks for that. So
thank you, man.
Point of
Thank
order
you,
here.
brother.
Sean did ask this question, if I'm reading the time right, prior to SmackDown airing, so he might not have seen the thing at the end of SmackDown with Braun.
Yeah.
It would have been like, who else has wronged Bray Wyatt? Braun is one that is still unsettled. Harper and Rowan could have been other ones, but they don't have quite the profile that Braun does. I think Braun is a logical next choice to do this if you don't look at it through the lens of this all ends up on Roman Reigns' lap as an attaboy
you have to look
for
at
him.
Who did Bray have history with? And it was only about 3 years since that Cena match. So it's not 4 years, I guess.
Well, we've done Seth already. And
who can we still do, basically, is what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Now, who did he have beef with? There's only one big one that stands out, of course, and that's Randy Orton. That's the biggest one.
We did Daniel Bryan already, but I'm going back to thinking Wyatt Family Shield. He's gotten Seth, can't get Ambrose. The Reigns thing might actually work out as being a grand finale of sorts because of the Shield. So Jericho was almost, that didn't really matter, and he's gone anyway. Yeah. Harper's gone. Rowan, kind of irrelevant. Not important enough. Sorry,
not important enough.
Shirts.
Exactly. The only person who's really like a big enough presence is Randy Orton, but I think that's inevitable. But I am actually going to throw another name out there. And unfortunately, I think Sean did kind of hit on the head when he said, I think they've peaked. I personally do think that he peaked with that Cena match as far as getting Bray's like beefs out of the way. And I don't know if I think I even said it on that bonus episode where we might not look back at this. We might look back at this nostalgically and say, I remember that time when Bray knocked it out of the park again. Kind of the way that we looked at his initial run before he got to WrestleMania 30. Yeah. We're like, I remember those days. But imagine if he did a program with Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
And did a Firefly Funhouse like this with Vince McMahon.
I think 10 years ago that would have been possible.
Crazy.
I don't know if Vince could do, because when you say that, I instantly think of Mr. McMahon and Stone Cold, or that's what you think of, right? And I just don't know if what made it great. It was the physicality. It was Mr. McMahon taking bumps, getting beat down, getting beer sprayed in his face. All of those things. Mm-hmm. Is he still willing to do that at 73 years old? To be determined. I don't know. I agree. I think it would be fan-freaking-tastic if somehow it would just be little vignettes of the puppets sitting around the control room watching Vince work, and like we're hiding in his office. Like if they could take it that far, that would be pretty awesome. But I just don't think he would. I don't think he would do it.
I wonder. I just think that would be in terms of how could you raise the bar from Cena. I think Vince would be a good one.
Yeah.
And you could definitely write it where Bray had beef with Mr. McMahon. And you could make it in a meta sense too. Maybe even have it where it's not even Vince per se, but the Mr. McBossman puppet. All of a sudden, Bray has a program with him, and it's an analog for the real Vince McMahon.
Voodoo doll of sorts, right? A conduit.
Well, yeah. Or just, representation of it. It could be interesting.
That sounds awesome.
I don't know. I think you could do some really cool stuff with that.
Thank you very much, Sean. Next up, Billy asks, thanks for all you do, guys. It's much needed, especially in these times. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Recently turned a friend on to wrestling, and Mania was her first real event. She was impressed with Charlotte versus Rhea, as we all were, I hope. Got me thinking, did those two put on the best women's match in WrestleMania history? It's got to be top 5 at least. I know there was a stretch of pillow fights and gimmicks and bra and panty matches, but that match might have the best of the weekend and the best for the females. Am I right, or am I just going crazy at work?
Interesting. I hadn't thought about where that sits in the women's matches in WrestleMania history, and I'm trying to think about what other ones there were. There's obviously the modern era from like 30 on, like post women's revolution, quote unquote.
As a match for WrestleMania weekend, it's a narrow, very close second to the Boneyard match as an actual match for me. Like as a match. Like I loved Charlotte Rhea. It didn't really go outside the ring. It was a slugfest. They beat the holy shit out of each other. It was awesome. There was no spectacle of it. It was just a match.
It was just a straight up match, and as a straight up match, it was really good. Yeah. But at the same time, and if we're talking about just WrestleMania, then that's one thing. If we're talking about just women's matches in pay-per-views in WWE, no, this one isn't, and is nowhere near. We've had some way better women's matches in WWE. For WrestleMania, I'm trying to think about it, and basically anything in the 20s stunk, and I think that's what he's referring to about the bra and panty. Except for 22, you had Trish versus Mickey. Trish versus Mickey is one of the best women's WrestleMania matches of all time. That was 22, I think. But yeah, anything after the women's revolution, even at the very beginning. So WrestleMania 31, you had AJ, Paige, and Nikki Bella, which was solid. It was actually a really good match. Yeah. Yeah. And then after that, it was just all basically some iteration of the Horsewoman, where you had 32 was Charlotte, Becky, Sasha. 33, I believe that was a 4-way with Nia in it. 34, Charlotte, Asuka, which was a fantastic match, just shit finish. You had Becky, Charlotte, and Ronda headlining. Like you had a bunch of good, like all the 30s. You had some pretty damn good women's matches, and I think all of those would be in the conversation with this Rhea and Charlotte match. Yeah, those all felt bigger, though. I'll throw that out there. Those felt bigger. This didn't feel that big. Maybe it's just a lack of a crowd, but even the build, it didn't feel like a big match. Even if you go back to like pre the bra and panties crap, where you had, like 18 and 19, you had some version of like Trish. It was like Trish and Jazz and Lita and Victoria were all doing something in those WrestleManias, and those were solid. I recall those being solid. I don't know if I'd put them on the same level as the women's matches in the 30s. Yeah, so this one, I don't know if it breaks the top 5, but it's not far out of it, mostly because we just haven't had that many women's matches at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I think it's just because the pool is so shallow. This one stands out. But history might be nice to this one. History might look back on this and say, just as a match, this was just really well worked. It was very clean. But that could have also been very clean because they edited it.
True.
So, yeah, I don't know. My jury's out still. I don't want to say yes because of recency bias. I don't want to say it's in the top 5. But I can definitely give it props as being just a damn well-worked match.
Yeah.
How about that?
It's I don't think it's better than Charlotte Asuka. I think it's better than the triple threat last year, as much of a botch fest as that thing was. And the weird finish with her shoulder up kind of stuff.
Yeah. Let's blame Ronda for that now, because we're all on a Ronda hate train right now. It's Ronda's fault. Frickin' Ronda. Maybe she knew how. Maybe if she spent more time wrestling and less time bitching.
I'm having trouble outside of Trish, Lita, Trish, Mickey. Legit women's matches at WrestleMania. I'm having trouble finding 5. Like, yeah. So I mean, for me, it's up there. I don't know if it's the best ever, but yeah. That's where I'm.
You'll put it in your top 5.
Yeah, it's in my top 5.
I'm saying questionable. I need more history to say yes or no.
Yeah. Thank you, Billy. Great question. Next up, Jacob asks, what are some of your favorite promos? What makes a good promo in your eyes? What makes a promo good in your eyes?
We had a really great thread going in the discussion group for a while there, like just a bunch of great promos in history. And we had everything from like the stuff that everyone knows, like the cream of the crop, old Ric Flair promos, all the way to like
hard times, Daddy,
really,
hard times.
Naturally, to some more like some lesser known ones. I'm pretty sure I threw a Terry Funk one in there. I think he's an underrated promo. But yeah, that was a lot of fun just seeing all the crazy promos that we had in there. Some good, some wacky. We had some fun old Rock ones. But I think one of the ones I threw in there, and still one of my favorites, and it's just underrated, is William Regal's last match promo against Cesaro. His old villain one. That's a really great underrated one. I'll see if I can find it. I always am down to start a good like great promo thread in the discussion group because there's thousands of promos.
Yeah, I sit there and watch
We've
those
all
for
seen
hours.
different ones. Oh my God, I can just go through them all.
What are some of your favorites?
I mean, again, like I just listed off a couple. I've actually been rewatching some old Edge and Christian ones from back when they were like the kind of fun-loving kazoo dudes. Yeah. Here's the thing. The other part of his question here was what makes a promo good? And the thing is there's more than one kind of promo, right? There's the promo where you're building a match, the promo where you're having fun. There's the promo where you're just out there there's a promo where you're getting yourself over, right? You're just out there. Either you're being funny or, you're looking cool. There's a one where you're getting your opponent over. You want to have preferably both of those in one promo. And the one thing that you should also have pretty much all the time, that was the intention of any promo back in the day, was get butts in the seats. The end of the day, a promo should make people want to pay money to see you. Preferably see you versus somebody else. And if you're good, you can make it so that other person, people are going to want to pay to see that other person with or without you.
Right.
So you're going to get them over. And they want to see you face that other person. That's the point of a promo. Any promo. At the end of the day, your motivation, when you think about it, about making a promo, it has to be, oh, damn, dude, I want to see this guy. I want to see this guy. I want to see this guy fight that guy. I want to see these guys fight. That's what you're going for. The bare minimum is make them want to see you.
Yep.
Right? So that's what makes a good promo. And you take any good promo, the entertainment side of it, that's the I want to see this person side of it.
It's what builds fandoms, frankly.
Exactly. You want to make fans. You want people to like you. That's the bare minimum. So if you see like a lot of the Rock's promos, honestly, the reason I don't put Rock as like a all-time top tier promo is because so many of his promos were just getting himself over. They were just about
fan
him
interaction,
being entertaining.
Catchmatters.
Yeah.
Jericho too,
You
for
wanna
that matter.
You want to see, Jericho actually is a better promo than Rock because his promos, even when they're funny, he's getting the other guy over by association, right? Think about his last promo, the one he just did when he's in his hot tub. He got Matt Hardy and Matt Hardy's whole gimmick over as much as he got himself over, right?
And
he's
Vanguard
actually
won.
really good about that. And well,
everybody knows
who
Vanguard 1 is now.
He got Matt's whole gimmick over by him selling that this little drone is someone he can have a whole promo with, is putting over Matt Hardy as much as anything else is.
Yeah.
So Jericho's actually a very selfless promo in that way, where he's really good at getting other guys over in his own promos. And that's one thing. The Rock, he was more about getting himself over. So that's one thing. Like when we talk about greatest promos of all time, my God, The Rock could talk. But I would argue I can't put him in the tops of all time because so rarely his promos were about getting over the other guy.
Would you say the same thing about Ric Flair? What you just described, I could swap out Rock for Ric Flair.
You could, except The Rock was a lot about insulting the other guy, and Ric Flair was about making himself look good, so when the other guy beat him, it made the other guy look good.
That's fair.
Right.
Yeah. My favorite
Look
to
how
this day
great
is the $600 lizard shoes.
Of course. It's all-time classic.
It's
Can't keep these gadgets down.
Nope. That's absolutely my favorite. There's a myriad of a bunch of other ones. I tend to like the Flair and Rock style of promos more than I do some of the more classic ones. Jericho was sometimes hit or miss for me, but it was always brilliant. Whether I connected with it was a different story. And I think that's key. Learning how to, what he mastered is, and Rock mastered, frankly, was connecting with the audience. And I think as much as it's about the door and the draw, it's about interaction. I pay hundreds of dollars to sit in a seat at a live show, one, to be entertained, and two, part of that entertainment is knowing all the inside jokes, knowing all the catchphrases, knowing all the interactions, and when to cheer and what to chant and when to chant it, and all of that stuff. That's the interaction and stuff like that. So, yeah, when Drew started doing that 3-2-1 thing on the Claymore, I was like, oh, I see what he's doing. And it's that. It was simple as that. So, back to promos, I just, at the end of the day, yeah, for me, entertain the audience. Promos are, yes, to build fights and everything, but when they're live and they're on air and they're in the ring, it's for the audience. It's really not so much for the people at home, in my opinion.
I think that's changed in modern wrestling. You definitely, like, once TV became part of wrestling, like, it became a lot about the people at home, especially pay-per-view buys. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's more money than, I mean, that's you want your live audience, but pay-per-view is big money.
Yeah, that's true.
Big money, pal.
Great question. Thank you, Jacob. Next up, Will James asks, gun to your head.
Let's actually,
what?
Hold on, before we get to Will here, let's actually, Jacob, I'm always down to start a promo thread.
Yeah.
Over there. Like, I will always throw some stuff up in there. So let's start another thread, because I'm always down to just, hey, let's throw some great promos in there that aren't cream of the crop or Steiner math, and see what great ones we have out there. So, hell yes.
Next up, Will asks, gun to your head, pick one wrestler's face, name, logo, or their own tattoos you would put on your own bodies, and where might you put that tattoo?
Oh my goodness. Just get a big old Macho Man tattoo on my neck right here. Just
Come
a big
on.
old, just like glasses and no.
That's a great question. I've thought about that. I've
ugh.
thought about I'm gonna finish my sleeve stuff here eventually when I get around to it. I tend to do more geeky stuff that has meaning to me for tattoos. Like, I don't just willy-nilly put stuff on me. Not anymore. I did in the 90s with a bunch of tribal shit. Winking at you, Randy and Batista. We all did that.
Yeah.
Right? But still, even though the tribals are there, they still there's underlying meaning to all of them. Whether you scoff at them or laugh at them or not, there's things there that a lot of people weigh into those. Which ones would I put on my body? I don't know. I mean, which wrestlers mean something to me? Would I put Ric Flair's and a woo on me? I don't know. I don't know that I would. The Rock's one of my favorite wrestlers of all time.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd put, if yes, some.
You wouldn't put the Brahma Bull on one of your arms? He's got those really awesome Pacific tattoos there.
The Polynesian.
Pacific tribal tattoo. Polynesian, yeah.
Usos have them,
I mean,
too.
obviously,
Yeah, it's
yeah. I don't think those should be on a white guy, but they're really cool.
They should absolutely not.
Straight up.
Those are some of the most detailed, and they take years to complete.
Well,
when done
I
properly.
doubt they're getting them done traditionally, with an actual like tattoo.
No, I'm talking about the level. So they do all the. Listen. This isn't the tattoo podcast,
go on.
right?
Go on.
No, I don't want to.
Go on with your bad
Go
self.
look up Polynesian tattoos, not the not the tick hammers, but I'm saying even getting them done at the minimum level of detail, or I'm sorry, the minimum with the guns and everything, takes years. You can go back and look at Rock's pec and shoulder and arm and just see the evolution of it over time as it builds and builds and builds. They start with an outline, and they continue adding stuff, and it all has meaning, and it's tied to their heritage and their clans and their tribes, right? So all of that stuff is really powerful stuff. No white guys should ever. If you're not, listen, it's not about white. If you're not a Pacific Islander / Samoan, Tongan, you have no business.
Maori, whatever.
Maori, yeah, sure. You have no business getting those kind of tattoos.
Nah. And yet.
Yep.
Okay, gun. This is a gun to your head. Actually, Jay in the chat put Kaze ni Nare in kanji, and I could, gun to my head. That'd be an easy loophole way out. Like I would absolutely do that.
So face, name,
mm,
logo, or
or their
that
tattoos.
they have.
Yeah.
Probably
Alistair
Randy
Black.
Orton's skull sleeves.
Ugh.
If I had to.
That's all yours,
yeah,
buddy.
I love those. They're very faded and gray, but if you look at the detail of it, it's absolutely beautiful. I'm
a fan of some of Alistair Black's drawing on the desk and detention tattoos. Not mad at it, but I definitely I can't stand like this random shit peppered all over your body and no connective flow to it. But some of the individual ones are really freaking cool, and it's my style. I like black and white, scratchy tattoos. All of mine are kind of that way. So, no, I could do that. Gun to my head, I could see myself doing that. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Also a fan of some of Bray Wyatt's stuff. Bray Wyatt's got some cool stuff.
Yeah, he does.
So.
Very good question. Thank you, Will. Next up, Josh asks, allegedly Money in the Bank will be the next pay-per-view.
I think, hold on, pause, because I think we might be having Greatest Royal Rumble. That has not been announced to have been canceled yet. May 10th is Money in the Bank. That's happening. Whether or not a Saudi Arabia show happens between now and then, we have yet to determine.
They've got a month. They're going to do that in the next 2 weeks? Jesus Christ. Okay.
Yep.
Allegedly, Money in the Bank will be the next pay-per-view. Who would you guys like to see win, and who do you think will actually win the briefcases this year? Thanks for being awesome. Thank you, Josh. Thank you for being awesome.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Who will win the briefcase? Let's see. Who are our champs right now? You got Braun on one side. And
Drew.
you've got Drew on the other side. Who's winning that Money in the Bank for either of those guys?
Alistair.
Bray ain't winning it for. Bray is not
Black.
winning. No. They're not going to put him up against Drew right now. I can't see that. That would be terrible for him. I don't want that. No, Nick. No. Don't put that evil out there.
All right.
Come on.
All right.
No.
Then Andrade is probably the next one that I'm thinking about.
Seth.
No.
Yep. I could see it. I could see Seth. Or no, I was gonna say Daniel, but I don't think Daniel's gonna do it.
No, I'm thinking heel. Somebody's got to go take it or compete against Drew. Who's a good promo that can counter Drew? That's not Seth. I don't want Seth to be right back in it. Jesus Christ.
I'm gonna flip every piece of furniture in my house if Bray Wyatt wins the goddamn Money in the Bank briefcase.
After he takes the title off Braun Strowman.
No, and that's how he gets to the title. But that's the thing. Braun has already accepted. Braun's already accepted the challenge. So I have a feeling like it's going to be for Drew. It's going to be someone coming after Drew, which is why the first person I thought of was Seth.
Yeah.
Because what other big heels are there over on Raw that you could have go for Drew right now? Unless you have someone like a face going for it, but that doesn't. It seems like a weird first program to have for Drew.
Yeah.
Unless you're thinking about later in the year, right? Seth's already been Mr. Money in the Bank all year. So either Seth gets it and cashes in right off the bat, because we're not going to wait all year like we did last time.
No.
Or they give it to somebody else. If a face wins it and they're waiting for Drew to drop the title to another heel. Or they're just going to do what they did with like Corbin and just be like, put it on somebody, we'll figure it out down the road. I don't know. I'm kind of honestly that now that we're thinking about it, I had not thought about
Me either.
Money in the Bank.
This is the first time I've actually processed who are the available heels right now to go get it off of Braun or Drew.
Going back to Alistair, if they put it on him, I don't think that works for his character. You know what I mean? If he's carrying around Money in the Bank all year, or even for a few months, it doesn't. I don't know. I don't think that works for his character.
You know what I liked about Seth having it at the time, and then I'm going to shock you, but I kind of liked about Carmella having it at the time, is because it was somewhat unbelievable that they could beat the person that had the championships.
Yes.
I want it to be an underdog. I want it to be somebody that you're not expecting, somebody that would never have the opportunity in the first place, which was why we were so mad that that Brock ended up getting it. Braun.
Yeah, and Braun. Yeah.
Even Corbin, it was okay with him at the time, but I wouldn't put it on him now.
Yeah. People are saying AJ in the chat. AJ would be a good one because he's a little bit out of the title picture, but the problem is
he's dead.
AJ is 6 feet under. He's dead. You can't put it on AJ. He's dead.
Angel
he's dead.
Garza, Andy Jessup. I see you. That's not a bad one.
Yeah.
Andrade, like I see
one of those dudes who's been putting in the work.
Yeah.
But who else I could see getting is Kevin Owens. Hold on to it for a long time, and then when later down the year, if someone else is champ, he's holding on to it. He's in a bit of a nebulous place right now. There's not really a lot going on for him. It could be a motivator for him.
Oh my God! I just had one of those epiphanies. Jinder Mahal.
Oh yeah, they were talking about him coming back. They were talking. Drew's been saying Jinder's coming back, and he's been putting over his 3MB guys lately.
Oh, the Nick Booking gears are turning now, boy.
The Nick Booking. You know what, though? Usually Nick Booking burns. That one actually is like, oh, that could happen. That could totally happen. Surprise return of Jinder Mahal gets the Money in the Bank briefcase.
Hey, congratulations. Drew 3MB back together. Low blow.
Nope.
I want your title.
I have a feeling Jinder will be in that title picture sooner rather than later, and Drew will put him over. Yeah. I am not put him over like let him win necessarily, although that may happen, but put him over as legitimize him because Jinder never got a chance to become legitimized when they got his first huge push. But y'all gonna hate me for this. I still think Jinder looks like a champ.
Yep.
Like can't really promo so well. I hated the whole Singh Brothers gimmick. Not really gonna he's not gonna get any 5-star matches in the ring. But I'll be damned if he doesn't look like a champ. Like you with Jackson Riker.
Yeah.
The guy can stand in the ring and you go, damn. It looks like a champion right there.
What about Jackson Riker?
No, stop. Oh, get out of here.
Oh my God.
Okay. All right. Now we're getting into tinfoil hat Nick Booking. Move on. No. All right. So Jinder, Kevin Owens. What about the women? On the women's side, who's winning the Money in the Bank?
Right now we've got Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair in NXT, and Bayley.
Sasha
Banks. God damn
Sasha
it.
Banks winning.
They're just not going to get away from the 4 horsewomen of NXT, are they?
Nope. But I think Sasha should win it, and I'll tell you why.
I don't think she needs to. That's the point.
But I think that gives her motivation to go for Bayley. Bayley's sitting there the entire time wondering when Sasha's going to cash in on her. That's more grist for the mill. Like right now, we're having all this stuff on one level right now. It brings it to another level. It brings it to another level of intensity. If Sasha's standing there every week next to Bayley with that briefcase and she's still like, no, we're best friends. And every time Bayley throws her under the bus, Sasha just looks at that briefcase and goes, any frickin' time I can do this. Any frickin' time I can do this. I don't know. I like the Sasha idea.
I don't hate it. I don't hate it.
There it is.
I think they had it handed to them on a silver platter, and I'm sorry for repeating this again. They had it on a silver platter last year at SummerSlam. They could have had Sasha come in and just attack Bayley from behind, but for some reason they had her attack Natalya.
Kyle is one step ahead of me in the chat. It's either going to be Sasha or Shayna, I think.
I don't want people that don't need the case to get the opportunity.
All right, well, Brandon says Liv. What about Liv?
Liv would actually be a good one. I think she would be a good one to have. Much like I would make the argument for Carmella having it was a good one. Do I think she should have held on to it longer? She cashed it in on Charlotte and then defended it.
She shouldn't.
You know?
It was a mess.
The whole point of Money in the Bank is for the underdogs to have an opportunity anytime they get it, not for people that are ready-made turnkey champions to get it. That's the frustration for me with Money in the Bank.
Sasha, there's a story there. I think that her getting it creates more interesting aspects to the story. It's not just a ready-made champ getting it. Shayna has just lost her title shots and wants another one, wants to be able to to bring out some skullduggery and getting this championship off of Becky so that she can increase her heel power. I think actually neither of those are turnkey champions. Personally, it's not like Brock and Braun, right? Where they're unstoppable monsters. They can get title shots whenever they
Shayna
want.
Baszler is an unstoppable monster.
Really? Because she got stopped at WrestleMania.
Well, that's not her fault.
In kayfabe, it is.
I know what you mean.
It's all right. Well, there we go.
Anyway. Thank you very much, Josh. Next up, Brandon asks, hey, fellas, hope you're doing well in these troubled times. My question is, what are some not as well-known rivalries that you really enjoyed? One of mine is Triple H versus Brock Lesnar's rivalry. I really enjoyed the aggression it brought out in Triple H and also the use of Brock's Kimura lock and how destructive it can be. Lesnar versus, is it Kushida that also does the Kimura lock?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hoverboard lock.
Hoverboard lock. I'm sorry. Also, unpopular opinion, I reckon if Randy used the punt, not the RKO, he could be a world champion again as a silent killer. What are your thoughts on this opinion? Thank you for everything you do for this community. Thank you, Brandon.
Yeah, I'm surprised they don't use the punt more often, but I guess that they're just worried about the effect it'll have on kids. You don't want to have kids trying that in the backyard.
Right.
It's a very dangerous
all the
move.
CTE stuff that's going on now, too. Kicking
Yeah.
dudes in the head like that. I don't know. We got super
At
kicks
least-
flying
at
around
least-
everywhere now.
The stomp can be done safely. It's real hard to do the punt safely. Underrated feuds. I don't know why. The first thing that popped into my head was Toru Yano and Okada. Back when Toru Yano was a killer. Neither here nor there. Let's stick to WWE. Underrated rivalries. Bob Holly versus Raven. I don't know. Damn, this is one of those things where my brain at this point in the day is kind of fried. So trying to think of all these is tough.
The Rock versus Frosted Tips, Michael Cole.
Piper, Bret Hart. The Rock versus Michael Cole. The Rock versus Kevin Kelly.
In an interview backstage. It doesn't matter what you think, Michael Cole.
Right.
With your Frosted Tips. I don't know. I'm too fried right now to really process and bring all the memories back in of who did I always want, but I never got my wrestling. Who's on my wrestling?
Christian versus Jericho for the love of Trish Stratus was an underrated one.
Yeah.
Also Cody versus Rey Mysterio, underrated. I'm just whatever's popping, whatever's percolating to the surface here. There
was some stuff that I had forgotten about that was brought to light. No, I don't even want to call those underrated because they weren't, because they ended up in championships. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm stuck right now. I can't think of any. I'm tapping out. I don't know.
We're stumped. Oh, Jesus. Oh God, there's one on the tip of my tongue that I was tuning in for every week, and I'm back in the day, Attitude Era one, and it was the one where, for a minute there, I was a fan of Val Venus, and I'm trying to remember, he had a feud at one point that was absolutely riotous, and every week I was tuning in for it. I'm gonna have to go back and remind myself. The brain is, the coffee's wearing off. I'm gonna have to go back and remind myself which feud that was, but it was a lot of fun.
Can I say Shamrock, Steve Blackman?
Yes, you absolutely freaking can.
That's probably gonna be up there in my top 3 or top 5 of rivalries that I loved while everybody else was too busy talking about The Rock, Stone Cold, and DX. I was over the moon for Steve Blackman and Ken Shamrock.
Right. Diesel Undertaker was a decent feud. Very small feud. Ended in a pretty awesome WrestleMania match, and 2 weeks later, Kevin Nash was gone. But that was a cool little feud. I don't know. These are all just random as hell.
Kyle says Val Venus, Al Snow. Is that the one you were thinking of?
That was the one I was thinking of. That's why head cheese was popping around in my head.
What do we want?
I kept thinking,
Hey!
yes, Val Venus,
Yes.
Al Snow was a great one.
I'll go with Blackman
it.
Shamrock because I love those guys.
Venus and Shamrock too. Brad just put in the chat. Yeah, a lot of those.
Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of underrated feuds for you.
Thank you very much, Brandon. Next up, Jardy DeWannamaker.
Million more to think of.
How you doing over in the EU, brother? Hope you're doing well. Hey, guys, did you get a chance to watch the new Netflix series, The Big Show, and movie, The Main Event? So,
Jericho and Shawn Michaels. Sorry, go ahead.
I haven't seen either of those. So what did you think about it? I hope everything. So we'll get back to you on that one, Jardy. You haven't watched that one yet, have you, Ian?
The Big Show Main Event. I have not.
I haven't seen.
I have
either.
not. It's been. I've been watching all the weeklies. I have not gotten around to watch those yet.
Yeah.
Should hopefully have some time before the next show. So I'm sorry.
Saturday
on
nights after we do the shows, I sit here and edit podcasts for about 4 hours and then watch wrestling at the same time. So
right.
Catch up.
Tell you what, Jardy, if you ask a question next week, ask this again and take two. Get another question in, and then remind us this next week.
Yep.
And hopefully we'll have seen it by then.
Yeah, I've heard it's decent, so I'm looking forward to watching it. Next up, Adam asks, "Hey, I'm a new Patreon subscriber. Welcome."
Thank you, sir.
Adam.
Welcome.
You guys are amazing. Your commentary is always fair, and you always offer suggestions. I'm fortunate enough to be working from home these days. Besides listening to you, I get my yucks by sending wrestling gifs, gifts to my non-wrestling coworkers on our daily accountability text chain. That's funny. After
awesome.
about 2 weeks, I finally got them all looking forward to it. Yesterday's was a gif of Strowman's power slam, saying, "I found some old footage of our project manager as a professional wrestler performing his finishing move, the schedule crash." He responded that he sets it up with the rough order of magnitude. That's not bad.
Right?
Give me another 2 weeks and I'll have them all listening to you guys. To all the BWOers, stay safe, stay positive, and never, ever break kayfabe.
Yeah, Rhonda.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Adam. That was awesome.
Thank you so much.
He asked here at the end, would you rather take a clothesline from hell from JBL or an Alabama slam from Bob Holly?
Jesus Christ. So pick your way that you want to die, basically.
Clothesline from hell. At least big ass Holly's not coming down on top of me.
Now, Alabama Slam is where he's got you on his back.
Okay.
And he flips you forward from your legs. I kind of feel like that I might have more chance of breaking my arms.
Yeah.
But I might break my jaw taking the clothesline from hell. So what do I want broken more, my arms or my jaw?
Jaw. I love to eat, but I need my hands.
I don't know. I feel like I could survive the Alabama Slam more. It's from everything that I've heard, Alabama Slam absolutely sucks to take. But I feel like, it's kind of like between Bradshaw and Stan Hansen. I've seen so many of those, and those look like they suck more than an Alabama Slam. Like a basic lariat sucks. A basic Alabama Slam sucks more than a basic lariat.
Yeah.
But I feel like even the worst Alabama Slam would be a little bit better than one of those goddamn lariats. Like those things you got a 300-pound dude putting all of his force into hitting you about the chest and neck area. And by the way, it's JBL. He doesn't give a rat's ass if he hurts you or not. In fact, he kind of wants to hurt you. Bob Holly obviously wants to hurt you as well, but I genuinely feel like he's got more control over that Alabama Slam. He's going to want to hurt you with it. JBL is a freight train coming right at you. Like he's got much more control of how badly he hurts you.
Yep.
Give me the Alabama Slam.
I'll take the clothesline.
All right.
Maybe I'm a sadist.
Well, masochist.
Yeah. Thank you again, Adam. Welcome to the Patreon. Welcome to the Phenomenal Ones.
Yes, welcome and thank you.
Next up, Chris White, who narrowly lost his championship at WrestleMania by one point.
Jesus Christ!
Oh, it was so good.
Came back strong in his first defense.
And poor Will James, always the bridesmaid, never the bride. Who am I to talk, right?
Jesus Christ! Yeah, you're not even the wedding party.
Right, exactly. I'm in catering. Chris says, "What's up, gents? What is the wrestling pop you wish you would have been in attendance to experience live? Thank you both for all that you do, and please stay safe." Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
Recency bias is going to say Edge's return at Rumble, Drew winning the Rumble. Daniel Bryan.
Daniel Bryan winning 30.
You got to see the Seth cash in, my friend.
I would have loved to have been there for Hogan Andre at 3. Would have been good. Oh, you know what? I'm trying to think of big pops in history. I mean, there's a few, dude. Because of how just insane the crowds were and how hot they were, I've got to say there's some Attitude Era stuff. The one I'm going to pick out, the one that's to this day gives me chills when I see it. And I saw it live, but I wasn't in the arena. And this is my number one. The one I know I've brought this up on the show before. January 4th, Mick Foley wins the title off of The Rock on Raw with assistance from Steve Austin. It's the That'll Put Butts in Seats, the infamous night where everyone switched over from WCW to watch Mick Foley win the title. That pop when Stone Cold's glass break hits and he comes out and everyone knows now it's on, Mick's going to win this. And then Mick wins it. That pop, when Hebner's hand comes down that third time, it's one of the greatest calls Michael Cole has ever made. But if you were in that arena, you didn't hear it because you couldn't hear a damn thing because that crowd was absolutely molten. That top of that arena is still floating in space. It came off so hard. That's mine. That's my one.
I don't know if I've ever heard a roar like the recent in the last 10 years. I don't know that I've heard a roar, and maybe this is recent to me because I watched the Edge thing last night, but I was very quickly reminded there was a time where we had NXT TakeOver Toronto, and Beth Phoenix was calling it, and Edge came out. Do you guys remember that in Toronto?
Yeah.
You talk about a place erupting and a roar. When I hear pop, I hear, yeah, but this was a roar.
Yeah.
Right? Edge coming back at Rumble was a roar.
Yeah.
And oh my God. I don't know that I would lose my voice at some of
You don't
those.
have a classic one? You don't have like one from back in the day?
There were some really good crowd participation, New Age Outlaw chant alongs with their things.
Sure.
That I do.
Austin,
I know. It's the
Austin
glass
wins
shatter.
the title or something
Yeah,
like that.
the glass shatter you were out describing before. That's a roar, right? Yeah. There's a lot of those. There's
I just
absolutely a lot
personally
of
for
those.
me, it's that Mick Foley win was just there's 2 pops there too. 2 huge pops. That first pop was enormous when Austin came out. That second one was somehow even bigger because it was sustained. I got to go with that one. Got to go with that one.
Good question there, Chris.
Very good.
Thank you. Next up, James asks, first and foremost, I want to say thank you. Last weekend was a very rough weekend for my family and myself. Your post-WrestleMania shows made my family and I not only smile, but laugh at a time when I thought laughter was impossible.
That's
I know
awesome.
that last
Thank you.
weekend's shows weren't planned, but you completely knocked it out of the park and provided a very bright light on some dark days, and for that, I'm truly grateful.
Dude.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Oh, our pleasure.
Second,
Our
and on a
pleasure.
much lighter note, comedy matches. Comedy matches are a source of divisiveness among wrestling fans. Yes, they are. People either love them or hate them. What is your stance on comedy matches in general, and what are some of your favorite comedy match gimmicks? One of my favorites is the Invisible Man match. If done well, it can be highly entertaining and a display of true athleticism.
Oh, no, it's performance art.
Yeah.
It's straight up performance art. What did you ever see the one Invisible Man versus Invisible Stan? And it was just the ref calling the whole thing and having to like basically
never
show
saw
you
that,
what was
no.
happening. Oh, it's unbelievable.
Wow.
It's performance art.
Yeah.
Like it's Jim Cornette would explode if he ever saw it. He would paint the walls with his own viscera if he ever saw that match. It would make him so mad. But yeah, Invisible Man matches are amazing. They can be absolutely spectacular.
Who was it that had the gimmick? And I think this is where a lot of people we were exposed to Orange Cassidy, where he was rocking him to sleep.
I was just gonna say, Gentleman Jarvis.
Jarvis, thank you.
That was one of my favorite. Like that's the rockabye move.
That's the most
putting the
devastating
rest of the-
finishing move of all time.
Oh man, Jushin Thunder Liger's Steel Ass of Doom
Yep.
is still one of the most legendary
Yep.
comedy matches of all time for me. And Shows what a legend that guy is, that he's willing to just go to that level. If you've never seen what I'm referring to, it was a infamous match in PWG with
everybody that you'll know and recognize.
Jesus, you'll recognize pretty much everybody. It's unbelievable, the guys that are in this match. But Jushin Thunder Liger was in it, and it was a kind of a common thing at the time in PWG for whatever reason. There was an aggressive move where you stick your thumb up someone's ass, but unfortunately, Liger's ass held on and wouldn't let go.
The legendary asshole of Jushin Thunder Liger.
The legendary legendary butthole of Jushin Thunder Liger ends up in this centipede of guys with their thumbs stuck up each other's butts. And by the way, again, multiple WWE future champions in this, in this human centipede train of men with fingers up their buttholes, and Jushin Thunder Liger is able to then manipulate them all into marching around the ring. It's bananas. It's the most insane thing you've ever seen, and it's freaking hilarious. Oh, the other one, I've got to throw this out there. Slow-mo grenade.
Yeah.
The slow-mo grenade.
Wasn't that the remote control?
They could do it with the remote. There's been the click on, click off.
Yeah.
But the grenade where they cock the grenade and they throw it in the ring, and when it goes off, we're all moving in slow motion. That one's amazing too. Again, performance art.
Yeah, recently the stuff with Nakazawa and the oil, Orange Cassidy doing stuff, where they pull a ladder out from under the ring and Orange Cassidy's laying on the ladder. Just brilliant little spots like that. But full-on comedy matches, it's hard to find in mainstream wrestling anymore.
They're bringing up Little Jimmy, R-Truth's Little Jimmy.
Oh, that. Oh, that is some legendary shit right there.
Oh, can I also say that Santino Marella's Cobra always used to crack me? It's the dumbest goddamn thing ever. It's so stupid. But he's so funny with it. It cracks me up. The one where it was turning on him and he was oh my God. That stuff always dumb as hell. Cracked me up.
The Women's Royal Rumble had Santina come in and then sting himself.
Yeah, Kobe, right. This last year when he realized for the second time, when he realized it was inappropriate, it's like, I'll just take myself out. And that's so much better than like a lot of the stuff that Vince finds funny. Like, I'm just sorry. Vince's humor is his own sense of humor. He likes guys dressing up. He likes poop jokes. He likes vomit. Like the stuff that Vince likes, don't get it most of the time. Not my thing.
I remember the Hornswoggle and El Torito, the We LC match.
So much better than it deserved to be.
Agreed. You talk about underrated rivalries.
Goddamn match.
El Torito versus Hornswoggle in the We LC match. That, my friends.
Underrated match.
That, my friends, is comedy.
Damn, that was a good match too. Shockingly good.
Oh man, Cole Cabana and Toru Yano. Thank you, Marshall, for the reminder there.
Oh yeah,
their antics.
Oh God, Toru Yano.
No, you go. No, I 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 go. Okay, you go.
Every time Toru Yano goes and runs to the turnbuckle, starts undoing it.
And the turnbuckle pads have names, apparently.
Of course.
Yeah, of course they do. Because why wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Thank you, James, for all the kind words and the great question there. Ian and I are definitely fans of comedy wrestling.
I want to go watch Toru Yano matches now. Yep. He's so good.
Next up, Andy, Mr. Jessup asks, hey, gents, thank you so much for your fully comprehensive coverage of WrestleMania and the excellent breakdown of the Fiend Cena match. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
My question is pertaining to Bray Wyatt after Mania 30. What do you think contributed to Bray's bad booking between now and then? Fallout? Just
losing.
Yeah.
Losing. Like losing big.
I mean, he won the championship at Elimination Chamber. Let's be clear about that. But then
and they lost it a month later at WrestleMania in a shit match.
Yep. That House of Horrors bullshit with Randy Orton.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Nick. We went over this on the bonus episode 2 weeks ago, or 2 months ago. Was our February bonus episode? The one it was the episode was about when the wrong person won. The wrong person won.
10 times the wrong people won.
We broke down the entire fall of Bray Wyatt on that show. Yeah. We went into detail about every one of his feuds and how he lost. And the problem is every one of those feuds that he had, he won a couple, but they were relatively insignificant compared to the ones that he lost. And the problem is, when you're a cult leader who's prognosticating that you know everything and that you're going to beat this guy in a certain way, and then you don't, it undermines your credibility and it makes you look like not as powerful as you're making yourself out to be. It undermines you and it makes people not care about you. If you're a guy who's out there at WrestleMania 30 and the entire crowd's chanting the whole world, you got the whole world in your hands, is because they all believe in the shit you're selling. They all believe that you have these powers and that you're that guy. You can't do that for a dude who's always like, I'm going to win. And then he loses.
Yeah.
And every big feud, every major one, he lost. Undertaker, lost. Brothers of Destruction, lost. Randy Orton, lost. Cena, lost, ultimately. So, yeah, what contributed to his bad booking? Losing feuds.
It's hard.
That was it.
It's hard for me to listen. Bray should have, much like they're kind of booking Sammy now in this sort of Rebel Federation thing. Like he sneaks in and gets the wins. Bray always fought. I was looking back at the Wyatt family, going, was this sort of an opportunity where Harper and Rowan could have played a bigger part than they actually ended up playing, and Bray could have retained a lot of this stuff without actually fighting that much, just sneaking in and getting the pins. And I'm wondering now, because I never wanted Wyatt family Bray to lose as a cult leader, but we never would have gotten what we're getting now. So it's a weird conundrum to be in, because I think he's knocking it out of the park, and he has for a year now been knocking it out of the park with this Funhouse Bray and Fiend dynamic that's going on. And it's got legs, man. This can go on for a while. There's a few more feuds that they can spend the next 6 months circling around. Randy Orton and Braun Strowman I'm referring to. And then what?
Jay is asking in the chat, he won against Daniel Bryan. No, Daniel Bryan turned on him in the cage, beat him up.
Yeah.
He had Daniel Bryan under his power for a while, and like 2 weeks, and then Daniel Bryan broke free of his power. And that was before he lost to Cena at WrestleMania. And then Daniel escaped the cage. He didn't pin him.
Yeah.
Cena was the first guy to pin him. But no, we had the whole list. And the ones he won, he beat Jericho, but it was a really quick feud. He beat Dean, but that was only because Dean got scared of holograms and electrocuted himself.
Yeah.
Lost to Taker. Beat Ryback, but Ryback was on his way out in a very small feud. Lost a feud with Roman Reigns at the Hell in a Cell match. Lost a feud with Brothers of Destruction. Beat the New Day in a weird compound match, but that was another very, very short, small feud. And then you got the build of the whole Randy angle. And then that was just the nail. That was like 17 nails in the coffin right there.
Randy Orton burning down his farmhouse.
Yeah, it was all downhill from there. He won a really quick Seth feud as a way of apologizing to him for that awful Randy feud. But then he goes to face Finn Balor and loses to Finn. It looks like we're going to get Sister Abigail, and then has the mumps. We never finished that feud. Ends up joining Woken Matt. That's his career after WrestleMania 30.
Well, to be fair, he went off for a year to be a new father with JoJo and all of that stuff, right? And the controversy that he had with his ex, and
after
he needed to disappear after the Randy stuff for a while.
He did. Yeah. Well, he didn't. No, he disappeared after the Woken Matt stuff.
Sorry.
But anyway, the point is that's what contributed to his bad booking was just them not letting him win feuds. Like, if you got a character that needs to win feuds, let him win the damn feuds. He can lose here and there, but you have to keep that, like, kind of what they're doing the Fiend right now. You can win little stuff. You got to win overall. You got to win the big picture.
Yeah, we're going to beat that horse to death.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah. Thank you, Andy. Great question. And just in general, thanks for all you do for the show, man. Just all the
Andy,
support you have, and I hope you're doing well down there. Next up, Esme is giving me a bit of a challenge.
Uh-oh.
I might need a little sip of water for this one. She says, hello, Podfathers. And she wants me to do Jigsaw voice, so I have to do...
Uh-oh. Can you do this?
Let me make sure I get it in my head.
Oh, Lord.
I want to play a game. Recast Buffy the Vampire Slayer using only modern WWE superstars.
Oh, God.
Also, Sir Ian, seeing as how you are a barman, if you had to describe Nick... I didn't even read this. If you had to describe Nick as a mixed drink, which drink would you choose? I don't know if I like this question or not.
I do.
All right.
Go for it. He's like a Sex on the Beach. Got a sweet and fuzzy side to him. He's also made with some very healthy juice. Got a nice citrusy backbone to him. Good color, very pleasing. Ladies love him. Guys can drink him and still get drunk. And yeah, I'll leave it at that. No, I don't know. You could. I think realistically though, Nick, you're more of like a depth charge.
I don't know what
Shot
that
of
is.
whiskey and a beer, cheap beer.
Oh, I mean, that's my drink of choice.
I know.
I'm pretty raw in that respect, right? I don't need anything like fancy shit or anything.
Give a man a scotch and a Miller Lite.
Give me a tall boy a Miller Lite and a shot of whiskey, and I'm good to go.
Yeah.
Right?
Even your scotches aren't very fancy. You're like, I'll just go with Macallan.
Yeah. It's good stuff.
Yeah, it's fine.
Decent.
It's all right.
Recast Buffy the Vampire Slayer using only modern WWE superstars. I'm ashamed to admit that that's a show I never really got into. And it was kind of in that time frame where I was in college and then coming back, and I wasn't watching a lot of TV then.
I'm not ashamed to admit that I never really watched it. Although Joss Whedon, so
Yeah.
I've seen a couple of episodes, so I kind of generally like wasn't Seth Green was on it, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
And then what's his name? David Boreanaz played Angel, the big hunky vampire.
Yeah.
Right.
And then there was I will say I've met her, and she's not a very nice person.
Who? Oh, Buffy?
Sarah. Yeah.
Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Yeah.
That might explain her career. All right. Spike has to be Darby Allin. Oh, are we doing? Wait, is it WW only? Oh, WW superstars. Damn. Because I mean, come on, Spike, Darby Allin. It's just
yeah.
It's just there.
Yeah.
It's just there. Come on, Alexa Bliss as Buffy. It's just there.
You know what I was busy watching while this was on? Wrestling.
I was busy watching real vampire stuff.
Yeah.
No, this honestly, like some of the episodes I saw, it was good stuff. Again, mostly because the dialogue, because Joss Whedon is great dialogue. But oh damn.
I was smoking a lot of weed and playing a lot of video games. I didn't watch a lot of like sitcoms and TV shows in the late 90s when this was a big show.
Drew McIntyre as Angel or Braun Strowman as Angel? That'd be kind of funny.
She said fine question change in the chat.
William Regal as what's the name of their British like mentor guy? That's got to be William Regal. I'm answering her question.
Yeah,
I know enough about the show to be able to, I am going for it. Chad Gable as the Seth Green character. Come on, I'm knocking this out of the park. Work with me here.
Okay.
I'm crushing this right now. Think about it. Alexa Bliss, Seth Green, F this. I'm going to AEW because I swear to God, Darby Allin has to play Spike. William Regal is the mentor guy. Come on.
Okay, that's good. I have no idea what you're talking about, though.
Wait, Brian's mad at me. What are fighting words? What did I say?
Oh man! All right, we gotta wrap this up.
About Alias here. Giles, thank you.
Yeah.
Giles. I don't know.
She said
Giles.
She wants
William Regal.
All right, ask us that one next week, Esme. We're running out of time here. We gotta get going.
Ooh.
Firefly is a very touchy subject with me.
Ooh, I'll recast Firefly. Okay, next week we'll recast Firefly.
Not until I spend an hour and a half ranting about how they never finished that.
They did. That movie. Oh God, I'm a leaf on the wind. I'm still mad. I'm still mad about it. All right, move on before we get.
Maybe we need to fire the concession stand back up after all.
No. Maybe.
Just saying.
All right.
Next up, Josh Sullivan says, hey, fellas, thanks again for all you guys do. My question this week is, with the release of The Revival, an imminent appearance in AEW, most likely being the case, who would you like to see them work with the most? Young Bucks. And what kind of story would you guys use for bringing them in?
Young Bucks, what do you need? It's the Young Bucks flying versus fists.
Braggadocious,
it writes itself.
Young Bucks coming in these.
Come on, it's been there for years. Yeah. FTR, F the Revival. It's
got to steer into the FTR.
Who
thing.
is the best tag team in the world?
Yep.
Who are the best tag team in the world?
And build it for a year.
We've been wanting it from back in the early days of the Revival and NXT Revival. Young Bucks. Who is the best tag team in the world? The high flying cocky Young Bucks, or the grounded assholes in the Revival? Old school, just ground and pound, fists
smash
and beef. Come on. It's mwah. It writes itself. Absolutely the Young Bucks. Although you can damn well give me the Lucha Brothers versus Revival as well, and I will be all in on that because, again, Lucha style versus Smash Mouth. I'm down with that too. Pretty much any tag team, though, in AEW, throw them in there with the Revival. Private Party Revival is going to be a lot of fun. Omega and Hangman versus Revival is going to be brilliantly technical work. I mean, Best Friends is going to be a lot of fun. Oh my God. There's so many pearls in this oyster, Nick.
Yep.
So many pearls.
I can't wait. I
A
absolutely
whole
cannot
necklace
wait.
of pearls.
Their names are
We're
terrible.
going to get a pearl. AEW is going to give us a pearl necklace.
Cash
Pause.
and Dax.
Cash and Dax. Dax Harwood and I told you, Cash Wheeler.
Yeah.
I told you on the other show.
Sounds like a
Don't you listen to me?
50s detective kind of. This week on the True Detective, Cash and Dax solve the murder.
Dax Wheeler.
Yeah.
Or Cash. It was a Cash Wheeler. Cash Wheeler is.
All right, rounding out this week's patron mailbag is none other than the guy that seems to be the caboose of every episode. I'm not sure how he does it. Mr. Marshall, how are you, sir?
Yes. Marshall?
You've been burdened with the One Ring and have to take it to you're pulling on my heartstrings and my fandom.
There we go.
You've been I haven't read this one yet, by the way. You've been burdened with the One Ring and have to take it to the depths of Mount Doom to destroy it. Choose 9 wrestlers to help you get past the challenges of Middle Earth. And who is the one that sacrifices their life so you can get away after being blindsided by a herd of orcs? Thanks for the continued content in this trying time and helping all of us keep our sanity. Well,
all right,
this
so
isn't going to keep me sane. I'm going to be up all night, Marshall.
I'm going to be up all night with this. Cast the 9.
The Fellowship.
The 9 Walkers versus the 9 Riders, because of course the 9 Riders were the ring rates. Yep. The 9 Walkers.
Yep.
Gandalf's 9 Walkers. Who plays Gandalf? He counts as one of the 9, doesn't he? Yeah, he's one of the 9.
Yeah, he's in the Fellowship. Yep.
He's in the Fellowship. Yeah.
So it's Frodo, Sam, Merry, Pippin,
so let's
Gandalf,
do the Hobbits
Legolas,
first.
Gimli, Boromir.
So we're Frodo.
How many is that?
You and I are
8.
Frodo.
Who am I missing?
What you got the humans, you got the dwarf, you got the elf.
You got Aragorn. That's 9.
Yeah.
All right.
Strider. All right, so let's cast the hobbits first. We're Frodo.
Hornswoggle and El Torito is Merry and Pippin.
Oh, get that. They don't have to.
I got it in my head because I got to go watch the WLC match again
Christ.
now. Come on.
All right. Pete Dunne is Merry.
Okay.
It works. You look at his character. You look at his character arc.
Who's a delicate one that
Tyler Bate? What's that?
Who's a delicate one that minces about that could be Legolas?
The delicate one that minces
like
about.
Cody.
Cody's Legolas.
Cody is Legolas.
Cody's totally Legolas.
Um,
Yagadagathiah.
Who is, forgetting the look, who is...
They run as if the whips of their masters were behind them. He's absolutely Cody.
Roman, have you said anybody yet?
Hold on. I said hobbits first, and you're just running off on everything else.
Roman
Hobbits
Reigns is Strider.
Roman Reigns as Aragorn? Yeah. God, I hate it. I want to hate it so bad.
But you know I'm right.
It works. God damn it. God damn it.
Oh. Who
does that mean Seth is Boromir? Because he does kind of betray them then sacrifices himself.
That totally meta works. Jesus Christ.
I was gonna say Braun as Boromir. That'd just be funny to But one does not simply walk into Mordor.
Braun is Gimli.
Braun is Gimli. Braun is Gimli. And it would even work because the way they shot it, everyone else has to be regular height, and he's just a little bit bigger, and then they shoot all the hobbits and the dwarf together, and then they shrink them all so the humans look normal size. Sorry, nerddom. Yeah. Sorry to get a little nerddom there.
Braun would also make a great Beorn, by the way. Not in the 9, but just calling it out.
Not that they ever had Beorn. Well, I guess they did in the Hobbit movie. Yeah, fine.
Just saying.
All right, so...
it would have been nice to have a shapeshifter.
We still haven't done the damn hobbits. You keep going on. Okay, you got Merry and Pippin. Merry has got to be Pete Dunne. Pippin, Tyler Bate.
Okay.
Sam, Sam's stumping me.
Who's the dependable one in WWE?
That's what I mean.
Who's all Tucker? No.
Nah.
Like who's always around and always helping?
Michael Cole.
I'm stumped on Sam. Chad Gable. Oh, she nailed
Chad
it.
Gable.
Yes,
Chad
Esme.
Gable. Chad Gable. Esme with the save.
Yep.
Chad Gable.
Yep.
Little too ripped to be Sam.
Have we named Frodo yet?
Yeah, we're Frodo.
Oh, what? Oh.
We're Frodo. You're a burden with the one
Oh.
ring. Have to take it to the depths of Mount Doom.
So we only have 8 companions because the total fellowship was 9 companions.
Right. So we only pick 8. I think we got everybody. Who do we pick as Gandalf?
I don't think we did.
I already picked Regal for Giles, so I can't say Regal again.
Who's the old wise one of WWE? I mean, Vince?
Can you imagine Vince being Gandalf?
I sure
It kinda
can, pal.
It kind of works.
Yeah.
I didn't tell you. I didn't want to give you all the information you didn't have to know. Pal. Marietta Brandybuck. And Peregrine Took. I should have known, pal.
Oh, okay, here's one. Paul Heyman is Gandalf. Ever
God.
wise, sort of
Fatty
all-knowing,
Paul Heyman is Saruman.
schemy. You know?
Paul Heyman is Saruman. Well, okay.
So what you don't see in the movies, there's a lot of scheming that Gandalf does behind the scenes in the books. Well, yeah.
You know why Roman Reigns works even better as Aragorn is you have Brock Lesnar as Lurtz.
We could go on for hours about this.
Y'all give us these casting questions.
Listen.
We can just this is the stuff that keeps us here for hours, and then we stay up hours at night just going, oh no, wait, this guy.
I'm not.
Nobody better.
You all listening to this later, you owe your vitriol towards everybody in the live chat because this isn't going to get out for hours now, thanks to these kinds of questions. So patrons,
Undertaker. Okay, so wait, who plays Sauron? Undertaker, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Aleister Black.
Get out. All right, we're done. That's it. All right, we're done. Wait, who's Gollum?
Oh God, Al Snow.
Who's Gollum? Shut up. No, it's seriously.
Who?
I feel like this is on the tip of my tongue.
Who has
here.
a second split personality? That's why I went straight to Al Snow. You know, not that was his direct gimmick, but I'm just saying it's like somebody that's a little mental.
Put Bray Wyatt on a really, really severe diet.
Yes.
Bray
is
on
Gollum.
like a death diet.
He is Smeagol.
He's Smeagol.
Oh my God. All right.
All right.
Marshall,
there you go.
You son of a bitch. I'm going to be up all night.
Nikki Cross is Gollum from Will James.
That's not bad. He also said his wife was not happy with our Vince McMahon casting of Gandalf. Found it offensive.
Aw. It is not up to you to choose what time you live in.
All right, we got to
It's
get
up
out
to
of
you
here.
to do what to do with it.
We're getting delirious. We've
Pal.
been podcasting for too long.
Okay.
Oh, guys, thank you all
I'm
so much for
feeling
all of
delirious.
your amazing questions. These
Like
are
it.
so fun every week. It's one of our favorite parts of doing this show, and we couldn't do it without you guys, you patrons, you phenomenal ones. If you guys would like to get in and ask your questions every single week, head over to patreon.com/BWO. All you got to be in is just that $5 tier to get your question in. But hey, if you go to one of the higher ones, you can get bonus episodes, sweet swag, Skype calls with Nick and Sir Ian Dangerous, ourselves, every single month. All kinds of good stuff over at patreon.com/BWO. All the other stuff you can find over at BWOpodcast.com in the description below here on YouTube and all of our links. Make sure you get into our Discord, find us over on Facebook, and follow us over on Twitter and Instagram at BWO Podcast. And of course, make sure you're subscribed right here at youtube.com/bustedwideopen. But my name is Nick Howell. You can find me on Twitter at DataCenterDude.
You shall not pass, damn it. I am Sir Ian Dangerous. You can find me on Twitter at Sir Ian Dangerous.
But by God!
Would somebody stop the damn match?
This show is part of the Orbital Jigsaw Network. For more episodes, subscribe to us on iTunes, Google Play, or Stitcher Radio. For details and show notes from each episode, check us out, orbitaljigsaw.com.